Hey YouTube. So today we're going to revisit the topic of the case head separation, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Teslong bore scope that I'm going to use to inspect the chamber. Um, so this is the flexible version of the Teslong bore scope, and unfortunately earlier this week I was coiling this up, and I apparently coiled it up tighter than it's supposed to be coiled, and it caused it to malfunction. It would still recognize when I plugged it into the computer, but I would get a black screen in the camera app and no video. So I figured that might have been what happened. So I purchased another Teslong bore scope. This time I got the rigid model. So we're going to see how it works. So this is going to be inserted into the bore here very carefully. And as you can see on the screen, now I have this adjusted for focus for the chamber, not for the rifling, so this may look a little blurry. So I'm going to push the bore scope all the way in. Oh, there you saw the gas port. I'll push this all the way into the chamber. So that's where the rifling starts. And now we're entering, there we go. So this right here on the screen is where the case head separated. So I'm going to clean this and make sure that that's just carbon and that the chamber's not actually damaged. Now my hope is that the chamber's not actually damaged because this barrel only has less than 100 rounds on it. I put this rifle together as a lightweight service rifle for my sons to shoot civilian marksmanship program matches with me. So I'm going to take the bore scope out here. And we're going to start in on the cleaning process. So I already checked this, it's clear. So I'm going to take the bolt carrier group out, the charging handle out. And got a chamber brush. It's a nylon chamber brush. And put some Vortec eliminator on there. This is my cleaner of choice for all things barrel and chamber. So I'm going to run that into the chamber a couple times. Okay, we got some carbon on here. Just a little bit. Gonna run a dry patch in here next. Okay, let's see if that made a difference. So in we go again with the bore scope. And the bore scope has this little stopper on it, and I adjusted that to go into the chamber, so that's kind of a neat feature. All right, so that is where the case head separation occurred. And either all the carbon isn't removed or the barrel's damaged. I think that's still carbon. So let's scrub on that a little bit more. while I'm working on this, I'll tell you a little bit about this rifle. This is a service rifle, like I said. Put this together. It's got a it has a what the hell's the name of this upper? What kind of upper is that? So I'll tell you a little bit about the rifle here. So it's got an 18-inch white oak SPR profile barrel in it, white oak arms, handguard, 15-inch handguard. The handguard has M-lock mounting points, so I added an adapter here on the bottom so I could put a quick release on there. This is an extra wide swivel to fit the service rifle slings. The normal adapters that come for, from Magpul, or the generic ones or UTG ones that you'll find online, they don't fit these slings very well. But this one came from Freeland Shooter Supply. Used to be Champion Shooter Supply, but so Freeland Shooter Supply sells these. So those are great to have. I've got a Athlon 1 to 4.5 on this. This is the Helios BTR reticle and low profile PRI mounts. These mounts keep your head down close to the stock. It's got a A2 buttstock on it and Geisley National Match trigger. So just finished scrubbing the bore. I'm gonna spray this off with some Blast and Shine here. Clean off the nylon brush. Throw a clean patch in here. And use a little bit bigger patch here. I think these are for 12 gauge. Now, normally when I do work in the barrel, I have a barrel guide to help protect the chamber and whatnot, but won't be able to get to most of the area that I'm trying to clean with a bore guide in. All right, let's check it out now. All right, as you can see, there's still some carbon in there. I'm rotating around, and there's a few spots. May actually switch to a bronze brush, or I could be a little more patient and let the chemicals do their work, because this does not appear to be scored or pitted. It appears just to be carbon. So maybe I'll put some Vortec on there and let it sit for a little while longer. So I thought this was going to be little bit quicker process, but turns out that carbon's on there really well. Okay. All right, that should be soaked pretty well. So let's just let that sit. So when I clean my barrels normally, I use this Vortex Eliminator. What I'm going to let it do in the chamber is sit 3 to 5 minutes, and then we'll come back here in a few minutes and dry it out again and see if the Vortex did its job. If not, we may switch to some other solvents that may work better. I think I've got it all taken care of now. So did have to scrub on it and let it soak for a little while. Had to switch from the Vortex to something a little more, I guess abrasive, or not abrasive, but it apparently works a little bit better on carbon, which was CLR. I know a lot of people are hesitant to use things like CLR. I've seen other people try it and it works for them, so I figured I'd give it a shot for me, and it sure did work. So all the carbon is now gone, and this chamber is clean. Another thing I'll do is I'll adjust the camera to focus on the lands and grooves, and you can really see what that looks like in the barrel now that it's in focus. So something that I always think is very interesting to look at is that gas port that's drilled in there and the gas tube alignment, or sorry, the gas block alignment. Something always good to look at. You can see there a little bit of erosion. That's very normal. This barrel is pretty fresh, and that's the least amount I've ever seen other than a new barrel. A lot of times you'll have erosion that comes back here, and the barrel still shoots really well, so it's to be expected on the barrel. And you can see very small little chatter marks from the rifling. It's pretty normal. I just pushed a few patches down the barrel, didn't really try to clean it or anything, just tried to get all of the residue out from the cleaners that I was using. Interesting, you can see there at the beginning of the rifling, a little bit of copper. So if I were to clean this down to basically down to bare steel like I normally do after about every 100 or so rounds, this would look even shinier and cleaner. But this looks pretty good, especially for a barrel that's still kind of in the process of being broken in. All right, well, I hope you learned something here. I know that I have a use case now for something like CLR and some stubborn deposits, and I'll probably add that more to my cleaning regimen for barrels that have been shot a lot and need cleaned really well. Probably limit it to just stainless steel barrels. Not sure what the impact is on other materials, and I'll make sure that I clean the muzzle device out, the bird cage out really well, because again, I don't know what impact it could potentially have on the finish or on the steel itself. So I'll get that cleaned out and neutralized, and we should be good to go. So thanks for watching, and if you enjoy this type of content, like, share, and subscribe. Big R Underground, out.